In this video, we're talking about dealing with negative people and them negative comments that show up on your feed that you just can't get out of your mind. So we've all had that situation where we've spent some time writing a post, researching a post, or we've done something or just simply reshared it, and you get a ton of likes and really positive messages from your community. But then comes lurking out of the blue, there's some troll who just comes in and puts that comment in, or they say something really controversial that sparks up a massive conversation. Now, these kind of things are actually fun for engagement, but sometimes we can't just let them go. And why is that? And in this video, we're going to be talking about negative people. Sometimes it's not the trolls on your Instagram or your social media, it's actually the people in real life. Maybe you're surrounded by them. Sometimes there's some in a friend circle, in a family, at work. How do you sustain and keep your energy positive without the vampire energy suckers taking all your positive energy to feed their own negativity? Now, tip number one is for those who use social media. Maybe you put yourself out there as an influencer, or maybe you just like sharing inspirational or positive content, or maybe just about your life, and you get a ton of really inspiring comments, and you get lots of likes and people really enjoying your content, and then the troll comes out of nowhere and they decide to put their opinion in what they think the world should be, or what your post should be tailored towards, or what you've done wrong in it, or what you've worn, or what you say. They've got an opinion, haven't they? Now, what usually happens is that opinion gets stuck in the mind. Now, amongst all that positivity, all that love that people are sending, there's one thing we just can't get out of our mind. Now, someone's opinion doesn't need to become our reality. We don't need to dwell upon what someone thinks of us unless it's coming from a constructive place. Constructive criticism is also a good thing to understand and help us grow. But if it's an attack, then more than likely they haven't even looked at themselves. They're too busy pointing fingers and not even realizing there's three pointing back at them. Tip number two, those who leave negative comments are usually kind of these trolls who don't really have a life anyway. They're really unhappy with their life. They don't like the life they're living. They've got an opinion probably about everything. I have a saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. They're probably stuck in a vicious loop in their own life where things aren't happening for them. They see others and it's jealousy. They see other people getting somewhere and they just can't accept that someone's living that way, and it doesn't conform to what their reality is, so therefore they want to change other people's. They like to keep people in a box, whether it be about how someone's presented, what they say, their beliefs, their religion, whatever it is. Some people think they need to control other people. Now, the truth is, the goal of life is happiness, isn't it? We all want happiness. We're helping others to get to that happy state. If we're in a happy state, we want others to be happy. But some people have an unhappy life. That unhappiness causes them pain. And most of this pain is actually coming from the mind, because they haven't really looked at their mindset. They haven't really looked at their life. How do I change it? They laugh at other people who do self-development courses, spend money on themselves, read books, and then they wonder why other people are doing well in their life or they're happy in life. They're not willing to take that journey or do the work on themselves to find that happiness themselves. They'd rather get their happiness from criticizing others with negative comments. That's where they feed off. So with this tip, it's just a perspective thing. Just look at someone's opinion and look at it in that, wow, send them love. Like, they're obviously upset. They're in pain about their life. They've obviously got issues going on. Maybe their partner's giving them a hard time. Maybe their parents are giving them a hard time. Maybe their kids, their job is stressful. Whatever is going on in their life, they're obviously unhappy with it. They're not satisfied or content. So they lash out to others just to make them feel unhappy, but it doesn't work. When you're full of positivity and you've got a great attitude, for a moment you might be holding on to it, but if you have a mindful mindset, you can let go of it. You shouldn't be carrying the weight of the world on your head for the whole day. Sometimes that comment lasts in your head for weeks, but we need to learn to let it go. Don't let it affect your life. Why should it? Someone else has moved on. And this tip, we need to learn to let go of these comments. It is hard, but it's practice. Just become aware of the thought niggling away and just wonder to yourself, why are you still carrying this weight on your shoulders? Why are you still carrying it on the mind? Because the person who left the negative comment has probably already moved on to other people to look at what they can give their opinion about, what they can be negative about. Go onto Amazon and write a negative review about. They've forgotten about you, so why are you still carrying the weight of their negativity on your shoulders? Let it go. Tip number 3 is how to deal with negative people is, look, if you're a happy person, fantastic. Now in this life, I like to look at it as if heaven and hell is happening right now in this time and space, on this earth, in your reality. You choose how you want your life to be. You can either live it with bliss, happiness, or you can live it as if everyone's against you, in darkness. You can be in turmoil. You've got a choice of how you want to see it. Yes, crazy things can happen to us, but it's a perspective thing. It truly is. You choose what frequency, what dimension you want to live in and experience. So if you have negative people around you or on your social media, they're obviously operating at a lower frequency, right? We call this a 3D frequency. Now in the third dimension, the 3D world, there's probably more negative people there because they believe what they've been told. Their belief system is a construct of what they have been educated with, what they've been told, whether it be politics or whether it be religion or whether it be just social conditioning. They cannot believe anything else beyond what they know. They're attached to material things. They get joys from things that are hurting others. They hate instead of love. They choose bad decisions. They live in a world where the media is absolutely right and they will never tell you anything negative. They won't say anything that isn't true. This is the kind of world some of these negative people live in. Now, when you start ascending consciously, you start to look at the world a bit openly. And you start to look at, hey, there's a bit of a possibility I might be wrong. Actually, there might be something that what this person said or what they're posting about and how they feel actually might make sense. So instead of being negative towards them, let me question them. Instead of trying to shoot mans down all the time about what they believe in. Everyone's got an opinion. So in this point, is you have a choice. If you are a negative person yourself and you can't get out of it, you've got a choice whether you want to live in happiness or in sadness in this life. And if you know someone who is negative and they leave negative comments, then just look at their life like that. You want the best for them, but they're also choosing to live in a negative life. And who would want to live in a negative way of being? That just causes pain. Can you imagine that living in that unhappiness? Can you imagine that? If you've received these negative comments and it's affecting you, can you imagine what it feels like to be that person who left that negative comment in the first place? Can you imagine how they see their world every day? That must be painful. That's sad. And you send them love because you don't want them to be there. You want them to be elevated. Tip number 4 is let it go. You've heard this phrase many times. You've even heard it in Disney films. You've heard it in songs. You hear it all the time in music. Let it go, let it go. When someone upsets you, you've heard a negative comment. Sometimes it might be personal, but as I said, it's usually about their own insecurities, their own dramas they're having in their life. You don't know why they've reached out or reacted how they have because you don't understand them. And to be fair, you probably don't want to know them if they have that kind of attitude in the first place. So let go of these comments that come in. Holding on to comments and this negativity, these thoughts, is just a weight you do not need. If you have cleansing rituals, just cleanse yourself. Have an Epsom salt bath. Clear any negativity. Walk on the grass barefoot. That grounds you again, connects you to earth. Do a meditation. How you apply the very sentiment and the thought and the ideology of letting it go is that, remember, what you read is a thought. It's triggering a thought, which is triggering an emotion. When that thought comes in, just analyze for a moment. How is it making you feel? Is it making you feel unhappy? Is it making you feel sad? Does it serve you in any way? Does it add any value to your life? If not, let it go. Now, the 5th tip I want to leave you with dealing with negative people and negative comments on posts is that people have their own perspective on things. People have their views on life. People have their own beliefs. You cannot change them. You can only inspire them to think differently. understanding life or seeing life depends on your level of consciousness. Your level of consciousness will determine the life you have. It allows you to become more aware to things, ideas, possibilities. The more open you are to these realities, the more you can attract a much better way of living, and you can attract that happiness. You can live that happiness because you become that happiness. You're open to the idea that me and God are one. We are not separate. You are not different to me. We're all a part of the same matter. It's all physics. We're just atoms or neurons, all vibrating at different frequencies. But we are shaped as individual avatars, individuals, human beings. Some people will be stuck in their views. Some people will be stuck in their ways. Some people believe their way is the only way and everyone else's way is so crazy. But that's their perspective. There's many ways to see life. People who want to live in a negative way, or they want to live how they want to live, it's totally up to them. If you're happy the way you live, then you are causing no harm. And you're coming from a good space, good intention, you're uplifting so many people around you, then you carry on. Let the naysayers, let the negative people carry on doing what they need to do. Bless them, walk out of it. Every negative space, every negative shadow that you come across, you want to bring light and you want to leave positivity in that space and walk out of it. Leave positivity with them people who are suffering with this negative mindset. Remember, they're going through pain. So I really do hope that you enjoyed these 5 tips of how to deal with negative people, how to deal with negative comments on your social media. And I really do want to hear from you and let me know if any of these tips helped you. Do you receive them? So everything is a practice. Some of the biggest influencers, biggest stars in the world still get affected by negative comments on their feeds. If you want to get noticed, that's how you get their attention. They can't let it go either. If you're just being old happy you, just swipe, delete, clear. Just get rid of the thought. Get rid of them from your life. Get rid of them from your awareness and move on. You do you. Enjoy your life. You're amazing. You're beautiful. I'm Chaz Fliy. I'll see you on the next video.